Hello everyone, welcome back. As you can see, the first thing that I'm showing you that I've added today is that we have a main menu, and it's not aligned because I haven't set up the alignment yet. I haven't decorated to make it look pretty yet, but that will come. And the quit button works, and the options button works. However, options don't do anything at the moment. It's just the menu that works. So we have the visuals, and we have the audio, and we have the different languages. Obviously, everything's going to change. The whole look of everything is going to change. The back button works. And we can start a new game. And right now we're starting in here, and it doesn't look good because there's a lot of, like, why is that lamp there? What's that? We'll get into it. But before I show you that, I'm going to press the pause menu button. So that all works. And the options works. But none of these buttons work. And this button doesn't work. Because I really just stuck it in. I haven't actually set up so that these buttons work. But we can press Q to get back out. Or ideally we could press back to get back to this screen. And then we can press continue, and that works. Or we could quit, and that works. So off to a good start. What else am I going to show you? Okay, so first of all, let us press E on the lamp. Now nothing has happened, but when it's all working, we're going to hear a little click sound because we've clicked to turn the light on. And now, if we go and turn the generator on, the lamp comes on too. And we can click to turn it off, and click to turn it on. And you'll see on the top left, we have a 0 and a 1. So this is the counter for how many lamps do we have turned on. Something else I'll show you quickly. So this is a sort of trap that I have in mind for the player. There'll be a couple of them. I'm not exactly sure how I'll implement it. But basically, I'm going to have lights on the ceiling. And the first thing the player will think to do is flick on the light switch. But then this is going to cause some sparks. And it's going to power down the house. So you're going to have to run back and turn the generator back on again. So that's just a little something. That's a little bit of fun. So now, two more things to show you. So we'll go in here, and we can't use this door because it's jammed. And we can't use this door because it's jammed. So how are we supposed to get into either of these two rooms? Well, let's come over to the fireplace, pick up our matches, start our fire. And now we're going to hear some kind of spooky sound effect because the house is waking up. Because we come back down here and the door has magically opened by itself. And now it's not jammed anymore, so we can open and close it to our heart's content. And because it's not jammed anymore, we can now access this bedroom. Because this bedroom is the one I showed you before. It gets unjammed when we open it from this side. So that's all groovy, that's all looking good. And ideally, so inside this room there's going to be a key, and that key is going to be what opens this room. And then in that room is where we get the thing to start the generator. So once the generator's on, this is the room where the matches, I think, will go. How do we get this jammed door open? This is the jammed door to the master bedroom. So we'll go this way. And right now I've set the number arbitrarily to be 5. So we'll go 2, because we have that one down there, plus this one, make 2. 3, and also we can switch them off. So 3, 4, and 5. And a spooky sound effect is heard because The house is very much alive now. The monsters are very eager to come and get you, because this door has magically opened. And the same deal again, we can open and close it as we wish. I'm just thinking I can kind of see it jumping sometimes. Yeah. I think I know why. I think it's because sometimes I tell it to play reverse from the end instead of just reverse. So I'll just review some of the code on that one. But that's a little thing. But that's pretty much it, you know, because it's going to be in here and then in here that we have the game over scene. So we won't go in there yet. We'll save that little surprise until later. So that's pretty much it in terms of the functionality. All the doors work the way that we want them to. The lamps all work the way that we want them to. The generator works. And we even have a nice little way to kind of trick the player into powering down the electricity, so they have to run back to turn the generator back on again. Obviously it's not going to be right there, the light switch. We're going to have it somewhere further away from the generator. And there's no way to turn the generator off. The only way is to accidentally depower it. So maybe we'll make it to turn it off, but I don't think we really need to. It's not really important. So what else? Possibly saving and loading. However, I feel like it's such a short game that maybe we don't need saving and loading. I'll just run around and talk about it. So the other thing we're going to add is we're going to add some notes that the player can find and read. We need to make meshes for these. We need to place all of these in their correct positions. We need to go through the whole sound effects. You know, we need to add footsteps. We need to add creaking doors. We need to add the door is locked sound effect. We need to add the door is jammed sound effect. We need to have the generator sound effect. We need to have the light sound effect. So quite a few things to do. But all of that is just sound, because right now there's only one sound, which is the static. And I also have this idea that maybe the static will get louder the closer we get to the end. So when those spooky sound effects happen, we might just gradually raise the static slightly, just so that it's constantly kind of going up until we get into the master bedroom. And when we're in the master bedroom and we're approaching the end point, I actually want the static to be getting quite loud. So maybe some proximity to the end game point will kind of affect the static. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think that sounds good to me. So yeah, we need to just make all of the interactive object item key things to have their meshes. We need to have all of the sound effects working, and of course we need some scary ghosts, don't we? And yeah, possibly saving and loading, and also connecting all of this up so that these all actually do something. So the pixelation is referring to the pixel camera and how pixelated the view is. And this will, you know, just be the different screen resolutions. Whether we have subtitles when the player, because the player will have some dialogue, the ghosts will have some dialogue. So that's what the subtitles will do. And full screen it's pretty self-explanatory. Let me go back to the main menu where we can do the other ones. And this is all pretty self-explanatory. You know, the footsteps and the crackling and the doors. I don't even know if I want any music, to be honest. I quite like having no music. Maybe there'll be music on the main menu, and so this will be to control that. This will be to control everything, and that'll be for all the dialogue related things. So yeah, pretty much it. I'll show you a little bit how some of the stuff works. Forgive me, I did crank this one out very fast. So I think it's easier if we start by looking at, is it this one? Yeah. So the main menu game mode. So when the player is on the main menu, we are in the main menu game mode. So when the game begins, we create the main menu, add it to the viewport, set the input to UI only, and display the mouse cursor. And then when we press our menu button, input action menu, so whatever button we bind to the main menu. That's something I may add. I might add a controls button so that we can rebind the different controls. That would be nice. So basically, is the menu open or not? If it's not, we're going to turn our open menu to be on, and we're going to ask ourselves, has the menu been created? Because if it hasn't, we're going to create the menu and set the menu and set created menu to be true, add it to the viewport, set input mode to game and UI, show the mouse cursor, pause the game, set the mouse capture mode to be none. I don't know if I really need this though, and set its visibility to be visible. And in the case where the created menu is true, we skip this step and this step and this step, and we come straight over to setting this one here. So we don't need to set it to true if it's already true. We don't need to add it to the viewport. We don't need to create it because it's already been created. So we just go straight ahead and set the input mode, and we set the visibility to be visible. So that's how it's displaying the second time round when it's already been created. And then in the case where the menu is open, so all this is happening when the menu is off and we're turning the menu on. So in the case where the menu is on, we're going to set the menu to be not on, and we'll set the visibility to be false on the pause menu. This is the pause menu, so the new variable is the pause menu, and the canvas panel 66 is the options menu. Because if we don't have this step, I'll just show you, because it doesn't look nice. So now, all good, that's fine, but then we go here, and then we quit, and then we come here again. So that's why we have that step. We need to switch this off, and then set the mouse cursor to be hidden, set the input mode to game only, unpause the game, and set the mouse capture mode. I don't know if I really need this, because I had a little bit of trouble with getting this options menu to disable, because I was using tab, and tab is also a way to kind of scroll through different options on a menu. So right now it's set to Q, but the reason I have it set to tab is because if I had it set to escape, which I would, then it'll just close the program. So when the game is exported, it'll be set to escape. But again, it'll be nice, that we can actually bind that option, but maybe some of them I won't let you bind them, because they might interfere with functionality of things like the canvas. Like if it's tab, we're going to have some problems. So yeah, that all works that way. And we have the continue button custom event. So this is when we press in Q to turn the menu on and off, and this is when we click that continue button. And so we basically do the same thing. Is the options menu on? Turn it off, turn it off. See, this is all kind of old stuff. I'm not sure if I need this stuff anymore, but basically when we press continue, we set the options menu to be off, we set the visibility of the pause menu to be off, and we hide the mouse cursor, set the input mode, set the pause. So pretty much the same. Pretty straightforward, I think. I did all of this in about half an hour, just the pause menu. I just cranked it out in half an hour, so that's why it's all very sloppy, but that's okay. We'll compile and save that one. And then I'm thinking, what else? Oh yeah, so on the UE pause menu, when we click the continue button, we get the player. So the new variable is the player. So get active class player, set that to be the new variable. So on the player, activate continue button function, and also set the visibility of canvas panel 66 to be collapsed, which is, I don't know if I need this anymore because I'm doubling it. You can see there's a lot of redundancy because I was trying different things to get it working. And when we click the options menu, we set the visibility of this to be visible. I do know this definitely needs to work. And this is how we go back to the main menu, is we just open the level called main menu. And pretty much the same in this one. When it's constructed, we make sure that this is collapsed. Because we don't want to open the main menu and have the options menu visible. So I make sure on the beginning that this is collapsed. Probably don't need that. I could probably just set it to be collapsed at default, but anyway. On clicked button, so this is the options button. I didn't name it, so it just says button. It does the same thing. Canvas panel 66 is visible. When we click new game, we open up game level, which is the name. These need to be case sensitive, by the way. So yeah, that slipped me up a tiny bit, but I was pretty sure. I was like, I think it's case sensitive, and it was. So that's all good. And then on click button 1, quit game. So just quit the game. Very simple. And the options back button. So this is just disabling the canvas when we click back. So I haven't plugged these in to this one yet. That's why none of the buttons on the pause options menu work. It's because they need to all be written into here as they are in here. So when we click on the visuals button, we get the stuff that's in the audio and we collapse it, and we get the stuff in the visuals and we make it visible, and vice versa. Collapse the visuals, display the audio when we click on that one. Because this one is set, so the visuals one is set to be visible by default, and this one is set to be collapsed by default. So whenever we open it, it's always displaying the visuals first. And then I think the only other thing I need to show you is, I don't need to show you, but I want to show you, I get to show you. So when we are setting the fire to be on, we obviously don't need to print hello anymore, so we're just testing that it all works. So we set the actor to be not hidden, and child door open. Child door. So the child door has a function on it called child door open, and child door is just a reference to BP door. So if we go to BP door, we have the custom event there, and then we have the child door open. So is this the child door? Because if it is, so I've put it down here, and if I set it to be true on the door itself, like we come over here, so this is the one child door. When we select it and go into details, we can just set it to be true. And the same with the parent door, which is this one. No, it is this one. Yeah, set the parent door. So if it is the child door, because they all have the child door open event, and so, I don't know if I really need to do it this way now that I think about it, but I'm just being safe. But basically they're all set to be jammed by default so that we can't open them. And when this is triggered by the use item, so this is setting it off, and when it gets set off, it unjams the door, and it sets the BP closed to be that, and it goes into here. So I think it's just this thing right here. This is what I was talking about earlier. I think if I set these to be reverse rather than reverse from end, I think that should fix it. That little error. Let's have a look. Let's see if that's sorted it out. We can just do it on this one, because this, like I said, it affects all the doors. So Yeah, I think it's a bit better now. I haven't seen it do any strange jumps. Yeah, I think that's okay. And that should work for all the doors now, because they all go into this section here. This is where the animation plays with the door. So basically, when this gets triggered, we open the door by playing this. And that's basically it with the parent door. That's so strange. Parent door open, not even... Is that supposed to be plugged in? Let's check that out real quick, because that's a little bit odd. I actually want these videos to go longer and longer now, because why not, you know? It's good to share the process with people who are into that sort of thing. So what are we doing now? We're just going to go turn on the lights and see if this parent door does in fact still open. I haven't found the fastest way of doing this yet. I'll let someone figure that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if my suspicion is correct, yeah, that's what I was hoping for, is that now it does unjam, and it does, you know, you can open it, but it doesn't open by itself. And I think that is just because that needs to be plugged in. So, where was it? I completely forgot now. Parent door open, BP door. So BP door, parent door open. Yeah. I think this one goes into play rather than into reverse, if I recall. Let's take a quick look. This is what it's like. Oh, it gets a little bit boring. That's why I put all the things right next to the things that they need to be at, so that I'm not constantly running around the whole house, you know, to go through everything. Putting everything where they need to be will be one of the final steps. So now it should still be jammed and shut, which is beautiful. And now we just need to go. I'm going to go right this time, so it'll go a bit faster, because I think there's a few around here. 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4. It's a bit faster, I think. I'm going all the way to that side. Okay, so now that it's reached 5, should it have been set to reverse, or should it have been set to play? Should have been set to reverse. But that's okay. Let's all take a look one more time. And then I'm going to say bye, because I've shown you pretty much everything I did today. Get the pause menu working, get the main menu working, get the options menu working, and get the items opening the doors properly. Getting the lamps to work properly. Because I do like that we could go and turn all the lamps on and then find the item for the generator and plug the generator in, and then all those lamps that we turned on will turn on. You know, I just feel like it displays a little bit more consistency. So now that we've opened 5, it should be open. Yes, that's what we like. Okay. Thanks everybody. Bye bye.